Hello and welcome to another episode of the Tejano Traveler. I'm your host, Wally, and today we are taking a look at some of the Texas state parks along the Texas Gator Country, and we are at Martin Dies Jr. State Park, which is the most eastern park that Texas has to offer. As you can see, it's a beautiful park with those big, tall trees. It's close to the Texas piney woods, so it's nicely covered. A lot of people come here and look at those cabin areas right next to the water. When the sun is shining, it's pretty marvelous to behold. It's beautiful. I definitely want to come back here when I'm older and living in an RV and just camp out and live life at a state park. And this would be one of my preferred places to go to. This just looks beautiful. Look at the day use area. It's perfect. Right along the lake, green grass, plenty of shade, plenty of water to go swimming in. This park is perfect. Plus it's got wide open areas next to the water where you can just sit down and enjoy the breeze and just enjoy life, which is what I'm all about. They've got a swimming area which is cordoned off for safety. So that's pretty good for the kids. And then all the hikes are flat hikes. Also, I think I found Texas' smallest island, but I could not get to it. And this little critter also came up and found me. I wanted to fight, but it was tiny, so I let it live. But I think it's a mud snake, red-bellied mud snake, a juvenile. I was trying to get from one side of the water to the other, so I left it alone. But it's really the second snake I've ever seen on all my state parks, which is kind of sad, which is also kind of good because I kind of don't like snakes. But the rest of the park is kind of marshy in areas, and then in other areas it's just regular. But I like seeing some of the trees out there growing in the water. Kind of reminds me of Cattle Lake and ferns. I love ferns. I can look at ferns every single day of the rest of my life. Plus there's all these boardwalks everywhere to help you get from one side to the other without getting too muddy, which is good if you're just an average hiker. I'm not like completely obsessed with hiking. I just like doing it enough to not get too uncomfortable. But I drove to the other side of the park, and this is what was there for me. More beautiful sceneries, more shelters, more cabins, more people just camping and loving life and enjoying every moment of it. It is quite a life, I think. And this park way over in East Texas really is pretty. And of course you got all your boardwalks and your fishing piers where you can go and do all that fishing that you want to do. And as the sun is setting, you can see just how green things are. It's almost perfect, picture perfect. I just want to live here for a month before I head off to another state park. And then they have a little observation bridge, which was also kind of cool. You get to walk on it and see all the paddlers go by and hopefully see some of the birds. I myself am an avid birder, so I was kind of hoping to see some different birds. Kind of start getting tired of seeing herons and egrets all the time. So maybe I need to start looking at those small birds. But they just don't excite me as much for some reason. I like big birds. And of course they got a bridge that heads over to the island that you can hike around. Both bridges connect from the main park to the small island that you can walk around. It's about a mile hike round trip, which is good because I don't like hikes that end in one place and then you have to walk the same way again. But if I ever make a list of 10 underrated state parks of Texas, Martin Dies Jr. would obviously be on that list. I mean, look at that beauty. I like looking at lakes. I just gotta start thinking of ways to really incorporate lake life into my life. I mean, I've gone canoeing. I'm not quite sure how I feel about kayaking because I don't want to be, a fat guy in a tiny kayak. So I prefer canoes, but canoes are more expensive and they're harder to lug around. So maybe I'll get an inflatable kayak soon. What do you guys think? Anyways, you walk around the island and you eventually come to the other side and see some of this cypress forest that's in the water and the log that leads out into it. And halfway through, I heard a crack and nope, I came right back. So, lesson learned. Don't try to walk on a log if you're fat. But the rest of the hike was pretty easy. Like I said, it's flat, and then you are finally off the island again. And that is Martin Dies State Park for you. I hope you've been enjoying these, and I hope to read some comments from you. Thank you. Goodbye.